Okay, so we have multiple breaking news coming out. We're gonna start with this one first. Ukraine unleashes British Storm Shadow missiles on Russia with Trump approval. So Trump gave the green light? It says here British supply Storm Shadow missiles and kamikaze air and sea drones have reportedly been used by Ukraine as it hit numerous targets, including Putin Crimean Bridge. Are you serious? And it says that Donald basically gave the green light, the okay. And also yesterday, U.S. announced they're going to be sending some F-16s. All right, so we have a lot more breaking news here, guys. Yeah, this is not looking good. Look at this. Second Russian military aircraft destroyed within 24 hours. It seems like the bear is getting hit really hard now. They're getting hit really hard. Look at this one here. Give me a second, guys. Ukraine delivers largest drone strike on Crimea in 2025, targeting Russian military infrastructure. So we're gonna get to all this here. We're gonna see what's going on with this news here, guys. And at the same time, we're gonna talk about this one here. Mexican President Claudia, brutal reaction to Donald offer to dispatch U.S. soldiers across border to combat cartels. All right, so Donald, he was this information is coming out today. Donald, the president, spoke to the president of Mexico and asked her if he could send U.S. troops out there to take out the gangs. She turned him down and said, absolutely not. It ain't going to happen. I'm not going to allow your soldiers to come to my country. You guys are just going to come here and it ain't going to happen. Nope. I'm not giving that green light. So we're going to see what's going on with all this news here, guys. Once again, this is a big breaking news. We have a lot more information here. But this World War III buildup is... I mean, what do you guys think about Donald giving the green light and also the F-16s? What are your thoughts? Leave comments down below. Now, I remember Donald said that he was going to end this war in 24 hours. By the way, again, I'm not going after him. I think Donald is doing great when it comes to like certain other stuff. But again, when it comes to the biblical war, I just feel like it's not there. It's just not there. You know, he said he was going to end in 24 hours. It's not working. Then he said in 90 days, it's not working. And now it seems like he's going to be helping Ukraine. And already he's given the green light. All right, so we're going to see what's going on with this news here, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the PayPal link and the Patreon link in the description box and also the comments box. Thank you so much for your support. Guys, earlier today I went live. Many of you did not receive the notification. I went live to talk about the 6.5 magnitude earthquake that struck Texas. Yes, a 6.5. That's almost a 7.0 magnitude. Here's the thing. The USGS a few minutes later came out and said, oops, it was supposed to be a 5.5. Sorry. But again, I just feel like something, is going on in Texas. Texas is shaking. The New Madrid is shaking. Argentina. I mean, you got all these countries. I mean, the world is shaking. At the same time, you got these wars. It's just getting intense. It seems like Donald's not going to end it now. He's going to be helping Ukraine. Ukraine staged its heaviest strike on Russia in months, reportedly deploying British-supplied Storm Shadow missiles. That's, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's British missile. And kamikaze air and sea drones among numerous targets by Ukraine overnight, a renewed attack on Vladimir, $3 billion in Russia currency to build the Crimean Bridge. Now, guys, there's been a lot of report about that bridge that got supposedly it got hit, but again, I don't see too much information about it. But a lot of people saying it did get hit. If that was the case, it'd be all over the news. But again, I just don't see it out there like that. Storm shadows were reportedly used against Russian naval and commercial ports. Novosibirsk, massive explosions were reported across the Krasnodar region, where Vladimir has several palaces, as well as Rostov region in the occupied Crimean Peninsula. Russia claimed it has taken down 170 drones, 14 unmanned attack boats, 8 Storm Shadows, and 3 Ukrainian Neptune MD guided missiles. Now it says here, it was not immediately clear how many British missiles struck target, but it is the first time they have been reported as being used by Ukraine since Donald January inauguration. Among the targets with thunderous explosion was key Russian Black Sea port, where shot down drone debris hit residential tower blocks, impacting civilians, including young ones. The Bear source claimed that this region was struck by Storm Shadow missiles, which, while British supply, needed specific U.S. approval. Listen, in order to fire this long range, listen very closely. In order to fire the Storm Shadow, they need specific U.S. approval to use against Vladimir territory. For the first time since January, the Ukrainian armed forces launched a strike with British Storm Shadow missiles on internationally recognized territory of the Bear. For the first time. So they're saying that Donald gave the green light. He gave the green. He had to. He had to give the green light. He had to. I mean, we the one that have the satellites in order to get those long range to function. All right. So Donald gave the green light. The Ukrainian armed forces cannot target these missiles themselves. They need, there you go, satellite constellation, which only us, the U.S., has. This apparently means that after signing the mineral deal with Ukraine, boom! Donald ordered the U.S. Army to again use the satellite constellation to target Ukrainian missiles on Russian territory. We're back. There you go. Got the mineral deal. Firestorm Shadows. Now, the thing that really bothers me is how come Donald is not saying anything? Donald should be saying something. Hey, we're going to be supplying you. Again, he's not saying nothing. Rubio is not saying nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in basically Joe's footstep. We're going to be sending a lot of stuff. You know what Donald's going to say? Well, we got the the minerals, the rare earth minerals. But Donald also said that millions are passing. We need to stop. This is a nonsense war. I mean, he said that, guys. I'm not trying to go after the Donald, but that's what he said. Now, it says here, this means that the U.S. military is again participating in the biblical war against Russia after coming to power. Now, Donald ordered the U.S. Army not to participate in strike on Russian territory itself so that there will be no escalation to a nuclear war. And now Donald has returned to Joe policy. I just mentioned that. We back at Joe footstep. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts? Leave comments down below. We're back. We're back. Now, a lot of people went for Donald because Donald said that he was going to end this biblical war. And I told you guys that he was not going to end this in 24 hours. It's just impossible. And I definitely warned that when he said that he's going to bring peace, I told you guys he's not going to bring peace. Because the Bible is accurate. In the end time, there's no peace. There's only one true peace. His name is Jesus. Ain't no man going to bring peace to the world. He said he was going to bring peace to the Mideast. Not even King David could have bring peace in the Mideast. So you have this region was also struck by Ukrainian unmanned boats, which launched FBV drones with one Russian helicopter reportedly taken down. Wow. And the crew rescued. Now, the city's public transport was crippled after the bombardment. Now, Taman and Kerch, which is close to the 12 miles Crimean bridge, built by Vladimir and opened in 2018, was also hit. The bridge, a key supply route to Crimea, was closed for several hours amid the strike. Struck too in the Blitzkrieg, where Slavyansk, now Kobani, and popular Russian resort Anapa. Now again, I truly apologize about some of these words here. Now, you have Russia claim it downed 96 drones over Crimea, but did not reveal how many hit targets. The punishing Ukrainian strike came as evidence grew that Vladimir has no intention of engaging with a month-long cease plan demanded by the U.S. and Ukraine. U.S. officials were drawing up new sanctions against Vladimir. As U.S. Secretary of State Rubio said, Donald must soon decide how much more time the U.S. will devote to ending Russia's war against Ukraine. Once again, the sides remain far apart. The fresh sanctions were awaiting Donald's approval. Despite this, Vladimir, branded a monster by Zelensky, continued his relentless assault on Ukrainian civilians last night, striking second city Kharkiv, where 44 innocent were impacted, including a young one. Shocking. Once again, guys, the Storm Shadow and the ATACs, and I don't know about the Taurus. So Taurus, that's Germany. I don't know if they need our satellites, but we the ones that push the button. We have the access. We have the satellites. Excuse me. So there were no military target, and there could not be, says Zelensky. Russia is striking residential areas precisely when Ukrainians are at home, when they are putting their young ones to bed. Only monster can give such orders and carry them out. Wow. Now, guys, all this changed. You know that famous picture? You got Donald on the left side and Zelensky on the right side, and they sitting down face to face talking. That was in France's funeral. That's when it started. And I guess Francis might have left a letter. Who knows? Maybe a letter to Donald. Donald, you need to stop this. So again, there's a possibility why Donald is putting himself like as the Pope. The picture of him pretending to be Pope. Maybe giving the okay to Francis or whatever, But we are definitely seeing a different type of Donald now. This is a whole new ball game. All right, pay attention. America, pay attention. He gave the green light. Only we have the access. We have the satellite to fight those storm shadows. Donald gave the green light. At the same time, he posted a picture of him dressed up as a pope. He could be messing around, or maybe it's just who knows. But this is a whole new Donald now. Something changed, and it happened at the funeral. It says here, while the world is slow to make decision, almost every night Ukraine turns into nightmare, because of which lives are lost. Crane needs to strengthen its air defense. We need strong and real decision from our partners, the US, Europe, all our partners who strive for peace. Only force and sanctions will make Russia stop. Here's the thing. I believe this is going to lead to nukes. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. It's going to lead to nukes. Because, look, Donald is the type of guy that he puts his foot down. He doesn't care if you have like 5 or 10,000 nukes. He doesn't care. I mean, look what he's doing to the Red Dragon. He's whipping the Red Dragon with the bell. So again, he's not going to tolerate it with Vladimir. The difference is Vladimir is not afraid. He will also retaliate, and this is something that we don't want to see. Two, warriors clashing. Zelensky defended his fresh strikes against the bear. He said the bear continues to refuse a full, long-term cease plan. All partners are tired of these Russian manipulation. We are defending our position. We will act accordingly, both at the front and in our actions on the bear territory. The biblical war must be felt where it came from. The new US sanctions, if Donald approves, would target the bear energy and banking sectors, including Gazprom, that's the gas company, and key financial institution. The package could include secondary sanctions on export to India and China, aimed at stopping the bear funding of the biblical war. Meanwhile, Zelensky has refused to guarantee safety of foreign guests, including the Red Dragon leader attending the bear major commemoration of, I'm going to skip his name, 80 years ago. All right. Give me a second here, guys. We almost done with this one. Vladimir has said he will call a unilateral cease plan for 3 days. The 9 May military parade in Moscow. But Crane has said a cease plan only makes sense if it lasts 30 days and leads to a bid to hold peace talk and end the biblical war. So far, the bear leader Vladimir has rejected a longer cease plan, but has multiple foreign dignitaries attending the Red Square parade. Zelensky said, "We behave decently with the Red Dragon and with states that have not supported Crane since the beginning of the war. But we are somewhere in between, or sometimes more inclined towards the bear because of historical ties. But nevertheless, this is not the first time that we have been approached by other countries that they are traveling to Russia and would like to be safe at that moment. There is such diplomacy, such a format of diplomacy." But he insisted we cannot be responsible for what is happening on the territory of Russia Federation. They provide you with security, and therefore we will not give you any guarantee because we do not know what the bear would do on these dates. It may take various steps on his part. Let's say arson, devices, boom, and so on. And then blame us. Crane is definitely not responsible for what is happening in the bear today. This is a fact. Later, you see that picture right there? That's the one. That's what changed everything. Later, it emerged that the bear had lost a Su-30 multi-role in today's intense battles around the Black Sea, has taken down by a R-73 anti-aircraft guided missile from a maritime drone, according to reports. The crew of 2 was reportedly rescued after the ejecting. Now, that's going to be my next news. The next one. The bear was today accused of using strike drones with thermal barrack warheads. Wow. Creating a powerful blast wave in a high temperature cloud, causing large scale destruction and numerous casualties among the innocents. A use it, excuse me, a use is particularly dangerous and may indicate a deliberate violation of international humanitarian law. Once again, a total of 51 were impacted, including 2 young ones. All right, so very, very powerful information here. Once again, guys, Ukraine unleashes British Storm Shadow missiles on Russia with U.S. President approval. Now, a lot of people is gonna be like, "I don't believe that, Louis." I'm sorry to say this, but I believe that because we have the satellites. We, us America, have the satellites. We give the green light. We push the button. And Donald, I do believe he gave the green light. Okay, give me a second here, guys. I got all these windows open and stuff. And I truly apologize about some of these advertisements, these news articles. That's something that I cannot control. That's their advertisement, stuff like that. So I try to keep it clean on this channel. All right, second of the Bear military aircraft destroyed within 24 hours. It seems like Donald is giving some orders here to the militaries, trying to help Crane now. It says here, the leader of Crane said on May 3rd that Crane military destroyed a second Russian military aircraft within 24 hours time period, having struck a military airfield in occupied Crimea. The strike follows the downing of a Russian Su-30 fighter jet earlier on May 3rd by a sea drone. Now you have Crane's military intelligence said the strike marked the world's first destruction of a combat aircraft by a naval drone. Wow. The multi-role Su-30 fighter, valued at approximately $50 million, was reportedly hit in midair and crashed into the sea. Wow. Are you serious? I thank our guys who are increasing Ukrainian long-range capability, both in the sky and at sea. The shooting down of a Russian military aircraft by our naval drone was brilliant. Proof of Ukrainian capability, the leader said. Zelensky said during his evening address. Zelensky did not provide additional information on the newly destroyed aircraft, only adding that military depots were also destroyed in the strike. Crane military has not publicly released details on the event. Crane launched a series of drone strikes towards occupied Crimea on May 3rd, with the Bear Air Force claiming it had intercepted 89 drones over the region, as well as another 23 drones over the Black Sea. Kiev regularly launches drone and missile strike towards occupied Crimea, a region that Moscow annexed in the midst of the Euro-Maidan Revolution in 2014. That was under Barack. All right, so that's one of the breaking news there. So we're going to go with this next one here. Ukraine delivers largest drone strike on Crimea in 2025, targeting. It seems like this might be the same news, but give me a second here. This was released today, May 4th. On the night of May the 2nd, Ukrainian Defense Forces launched what is being called the largest drone strike on Crimea in 2025, striking multiple of the Bear military site across the occupied peninsula. Following the massive midnight strike, the Bear sources claimed that air defenses thwarted the operation by taking down 120 drones, in total 20 over the Black Sea and 100 over land. However, video evidence and satellite data contradict this narrative, confirming successful strikes on key targets. You have military expert, I'm skip his name, head of the Defense Express Company, explained the strategic impact of this strike in an interview with Expresso TV, noting that several of the Russian airfield used for combat mission were hit. It says here explosions were recorded near or at the air base in Saki, Qatar, and other territories, with possible secondary strike near Belbek. The scale and coordination of the strike suggest a deliberate effort to degrade the bare operational and strategic infrastructure in Crimea. Now, data from NASA services also confirm fires at a military site in Crimea. Some drones were also headed towards other regions. According to this person, such operations are typically conducted in phases. If the Bear claimed to have taken down 120 drones, the actual number launched was likely much higher. Strikes of this scale usually begin with swarms of low-cost UAVs to saturate and distract enemy air defenses, followed by precision strike using loitering munitions and anti-radiation weapon. Man, things are going down ever since that funeral, Francis' funeral. That's when it all started, I do believe. This latest strike appears to be even more complex and sophisticated. A video released by the primary unit of the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine shows multiple FPV drone strikes on the Bear radar system and air defense assist. Based on the footage, at least 4 radars used for missile guidance and 2 S-300V launchers were destroyed. These radars were reportedly in both combat and standby modes at the time of the strike. The expert emphasizes that this operation was meticulously planned and executed in several stages. The full extent of the damage is still being assessed, but initial reports indicate that the strike significantly disrupted the Russian air defense capability in Crimea. According to Zarest, this strike is also symbolically timed. As the Bear, Russia prepares for the May 9th, there you go, Victory Day parade in Moscow, it is pushing for a temporary cease plan. Ukraine, however, is focused on real steps towards a lasting and genuine end to the war, not just a short pause. Shot down by Zelensky as merely theatrical performance. I actually apologize about that word. Okay, now we're gonna go with the next one here. All right, so I did brought this up many times, but I haven't really talked about it, and I want to bring this one up. We're gonna go way down to the south. We're talking about down in India. Pakistan test fired ballistic missile. Ooh. As tension with India surged after Kashmir event. They're really talking about nukes out there. They're really talking about nukes. Pakistan test fired a ballistic equipment Saturday as tensions with India surged over last month event. Now, the surface to surface missile has a range of about 280 miles. The Pakistani military said there was no immediate report about the launch from India, which blames Pakistan for the April 22nd event in Kashmir. Now, it says here Pakistan military said the launch of this equipment was aimed at ensuring the operational readiness of troops and validating key technical parameters, including the missile's advanced navigation system and enhanced maneuverability. Pakistan leader and prime minister congratulated those behind the successful test. Missiles are not fired towards the border area with India. They are normally fired into the Arabian Sea or the desert of southwestern. And Islamabad-based security analyst says Saturday missile was named after a prominent, I'm going to skip his name, conqueror of India, underlining its symbolic significance. The timing of this launch is critical in the current geopolitical context, Ali told the Associated Press. He said the test was intended as a strategic signal to India after it had threatened to suspend a crucial water sharing treaty. All right, so once again, guys, they're really testing their equipments here. So we're going to skip the rest of this. A lot of this is talking about like the border stuff, them going at it and this and that. So they test fired a ballistic, all right, and it succeeded. All right, so this thing was fired towards open region, desert, or the Arabian Sea. But yeah, that's where we are right now. So let's go with our country. What's going on with our country? Mexican President Claudia. She said the brutal reaction to Donald offered to dispatch U.S. soldiers across border to combat the gangs. So she put an end to that. She's like, no, Senor Donald. Senor Donald, no militar. No capitan. We don't want no capitan or militar or generals and stuff. All right, so it says here Mexican President Claudia said on Saturday that President Donald proposed sending soldiers, American soldiers, into Mexico to help her administration to fight the gang's lawlessness out there. Her remark to supporters in eastern Mexico came in response to a Wall Street Journal article published the day before describing a tense phone call last month in which Donald reportedly pressured her to accept a bigger role for the U.S. military in combating those gangs. In one of the calls, Donald said, "How can we help you stop these lawlessness? I propose that the Sleeping Giant Army come in to help you." Now, she responded, she said, who was speaking at a university event near the Capitol on Sunday. Give me a second here. This is getting really good now. And you know what I told him? Uh-oh. You know what I told Donald? No, Donald. The territory is sacrosanct sovereignty. Is sacrosanct sovereignty is not for sale. Sovereignty is loved and defended. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. He's trying to help you. He's trying to help your land that is being taken over by lawlessness. He just wants to stop these Looney Tunes sending their product into our land. He's trying to help. He's doing you a favor. Because quite frankly, you guys are not doing nothing stopping those gangs. So once again, the leader added that while the two countries can collaborate, we will never accept the presence of the U.S. military in our territory. Well, guess what? Your territory is going to be run by those lawlessness. The White House National Security Council spokesman James said in a statement later on Saturday that Donald has worked closely with Mexico leader to achieve the most secure southwest border in history. Once again, you have these organizations, some very, very bad organizations, the gangs, however, continue to threaten our shared security and their product and lawlessness they spread warns sleeping giant communities across the country. The statement said the president has been crystal clear that Mexico must do more to combat these gangs, and the sleeping giant stands ready to assist and expand already close cooperation between our two countries. The council spokesperson added that Donald had worked closely with the Mexican president to achieve the most secure southwest border in history. However, you have these lawlessness organization continue to warn our shared security and the product and lawlessness that they spread in our country. Now, Donald himself said in an interview last week with conservative outlet The Blaze that he had offered to help Mexico fight these lawlessness, but that he had been turned down. Without providing detail, Donald told his interviewer, "You could say at some point maybe something's gonna have to happen. It can't go on the way it is." Now Mexico is very, very afraid of the. Again, here's the thing. I do believe what Donald's saying here. They're very afraid. I do believe so. I believe so. I believe that she wants help, but she also don't want to get into big trouble with this lawlessness, because these lawlessness, they're very powerful. They're all over the place. They are also in the political arena. So they probably told her, "Hey, we know who you are. We know your family and your loved ones, and we know again you do that." And so again, these people are very powerful. They are very powerful. Without providing, give me a second here, guys. So they are very, very afraid of the lawlessness. We want to help her. We want to help Mexico because you can't run a land like that. You just can't. Now, Donald has said publicly that the sleeping giant would take unilateral military action if Mexico failed to dismantle these gangs. The two leaders have had several calls in recent months to discuss security issues, trade, and others. Once again, you have the Wall Street Journal reported that no tensions between the two leaders rose towards the end of an April 16 telephone conversation when Donald pushed to have U.S. armed forces take a leading role in tackling the gangs that produced and smuggled those products into our sleeping giant country. The U.S. military presence has increased steadily along its southern border with Mexico in recent months, following Donald's order in January to increase the Army's role in stemming the flow of these people coming in. All right, so that's where we at. That is where we at. So a lot of news is coming out today, guys. It's a lot of news coming out. But we are definitely seeing something new here when it comes to these biblical wars, nation against nation. What are your thoughts about Donald giving the green light? A lot of people is gonna be like, Donald didn't give the green light. Yes, he did. Again, the U.S. has the satellites in order to fire those long range or mid range. All right, guys. So I guess I'm gonna end it here. And by the way, Russia was under a state of emergency. It was a really hard hit. They got hit really hard. Look at this, talking about Mexico. I just pulled this one up. Mexico needs some American freedom and must be liberated now. Sleeping Giants should declare war on these gangs. Mm. The problem is that President of Mexico, she don't want to do it, and I do believe she's being the lawlessness. This is where we at right now, and I'm just gonna end it here. But thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Trying to see if there's any more information. This seems like it's all of it here. Yeah, so make sure you hit that thumbs up, and I will keep you updated with all these news. Make sure you check out the video I posted today. The links will be in the comments box. Have a good night, guys. God bless you all. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Once again, guys, $1 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream every Monday. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.